Yo, what it do, Facebook? It's your boy Tom back here with another video, and hear about how student loans can be forgived up to $10,000 through Joe Biden's new plan. So I'm gonna show this little snippet video, and we're gonna get it started. I know your boy rocking the Chief hat. Yes, I'm rocking the Chiefs for the Super Bowl. But let's get into it. Please like, subscribe to this video, and let's get into it.
Over the past decade, student loan debt has skyrocketed in the U.S. By December 2020, 43 million Americans owed the government a collective $1.6 trillion. That's putting pressure on President-elect Joe Biden.
We know that in the 21st century, 12 years of schooling is not enough, and that young people are getting crushed by the burden of student debt.
Democrats want Biden to issue an executive order to forgive some loans if a bill can't get through Congress. But opponents say that would unfairly assist high-income earners while increasing the existing burden on taxpayers.
What's happening is a lot of people are not sending in payments to the education department. About a third of the $1.6 trillion that
I ain't gonna lie, I'm one of those people, and I don't even have that much student loan debt. My debt is around like $20,000, so $10,000 would be very helpful. So I hope this bill passed sooner than later, so it can help out my debt, credit. My credit will shoot through the roof if I redeem $10,000. So, hope this get through.
it's on the books currently is not going to get repaid, which basically means taxpayers are going to have to cover that somehow.
So what will Joe Biden do? First, he wants to bring back a policy sought by congressional Democrats early in the pandemic.
I like how her mask matching her shirt.
Calls for immediate $10,000 forgiveness of student loans. It should be done immediately.
From there, Biden says he wants to start by revamping the existing forgiveness options offered by the federal government.
There are these programs in place called income-based repayment, and the first of these was actually passed under the Clinton administration. Bill Clinton actually liked the idea of having students actually pay a share of their income each month rather than a fixed dollar amount.
One example of these programs is called REPAY, which stands for Revised Pay As You Earn. In REPAY plans, anyone who's struggling to pay their student loan can set a new minimum payment that is 10% of their income over $25,000. If the borrower makes these payments on time for 20 to 25 years, the government will forgive the remaining balance of the loan.
Now keep in mind, this is 10% of your discretionary income, so for some people it might not make sense. If you're making a lot of money, and 10% actually might be higher than what your standard repayment is. So you kind of have to look at it and see if it makes sense. But anyone can do this. You're entitled to enroll in this program, and a lot of people have. Enrollment in this program has surged.
But there's a catch. The forgiven balance of the loan is counted as income on your taxes.
If you think about it, that tax bill can actually be really high. If it's, let's say you owe $100,000 at the end of that 20-year program, well, that's $100,000 of income, and so that could be thousands of dollars in a tax bill that you face right then and there at the end of your repayment plan.
Wow.
Biden's proposal changes this program in a way that draws less money from borrowers. The minimum payment rate for these plans would be reduced from 10% to 5% of a borrower's income after their first $25,000 earned. And Biden wants to make it so that forgiven debt won't be taxed as income. Biden also wants to sweeten the terms of forgiveness for
I'm down with that.
Workers like teachers, military personnel, and also employees of nonprofits. People in these career fields already have their debts forgiven tax-free after 10 years of public service, but Biden wants to relieve some of their debts on a shorter timeline. Biden has said that the current program isn't working as intended.
There is a program that exists now under the law that forgives student loans for being able to engage in public service. I'm going to institute a fundamental change in that so it's able to be available to everyone that in fact is engaged. It's not being very well managed. So I'm going to do all of those things.
Some say that contractors are to blame for the management issues.
The contractors that the education department uses to deal with students who have student loans have gotten a lot of things wrong. So what you've seen is there have been a lot of instances of where people thought that they were on track to get forgiveness and then they learn that they're not and they maybe have to start all over. So this program has turned out to be a mess, and he wants to fix that.
Members
Wow.
of both political parties think that the federal student loan program needs an update.
One of the big differences right now is on the Democratic side, they're saying cancel student debt right now and then we'll worry about reforming the program. Republicans are saying, wait a minute, the first thing we need to do is fix this program.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm with the Democrats. But in a way, I can see it's a big difference because, like they said, people with the big earning income jobs, like doctors, lawyers that go to school for 5-6+ years after high school, they get the most debt. Me, my debt is low because I went to school, trade school, not college, not even community college. So my debt is a little bit small. It still feels like a lot to me, but I can see where they're getting at it. I think this will help a lot of people that's not making. If you got student loan debt and you, like they say, you're making like less than $75,000 a year, this is great for you. But if you're making a little bit higher than that with some college student loan debts and all that stuff, then your income might be higher, and the 10% might be too much, and you know, it's probably paying off too much. But I like the 5% and not being taxed. That's a great idea. And after 20 payments, they say it will be the rest of it will be forgiven. So sounds good to me.
To solve the underlying problems in the first place.
Any student loan debt that's forgiven is covered by taxpayers. Mr. Biden says he'll pay for
Which is
expansion
us.
of forgiveness by reversing parts of the tax cuts of 2017.
For a lot of his plans, he wants to, raise taxes on high earners and on corporations, corporate profits. So more broadly, he's talked about doing that.
Another issue is who exactly benefits from expanded loan forgiveness programs.
Most student debt is actually held by people who are in upper income households.
No, like-
The Brookings Institution
Okay.
shows that 60% of student debt, so more than half of the $1.6 trillion on the books, is held by people who are making $74,000 a year or more.
If
74.
debts are forgiven, the smaller
Okay,
payments
that's
given
what I
to
said.
lower-income households are likely to have a bigger impact on that household's finances. In recent years, roughly 1 in 5 student loan borrowers fell behind on their payments, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. That's a sign that many remain at risk of default on their student loan, which could impact their credit or even lead to garnished
Yeah.
wages.
If you look at the number of
That's
people
me.
who
I
have
default my
defaulted on their
payments a couple
loans,
times.
it's almost the same as the number of people who lost their homes during the housing crash. This was almost unheard of, in the early 2000s, that there would be someone calling for canceling student debt. So it shows just how much of a middle-class anxiety this has become in just the past 10 years.
And Biden hopes to relieve that anxiety over the debts in his first term.
Alrighty, I guess that's it. Alright, well, hopefully this come through. It's crazy how they show student debts just skyrocket since 2004. I ain't gonna lie, like student debt and all that kind of scared me back in high school. I didn't even want to deal with all that, and I kind of knew as a young age college wasn't for me. Like just cause I wasn't the smartest kid, I wasn't the dumbest, but I just knew this, sitting in classrooms wasn't my forte. So a big alternative is trade school. Again, you got about half the debt as most people in college, but yet they making a lot more money, but yet more in debt. Of course, I probably at this time, sometimes I kind of wish I kind of went to college and maybe had at least associate's degree, but that's a whole different time. And the trade that I got into is HVAC, so it's still in demanding. I'm in the construction field, but do I regret it? Any tradesman can make some good money. They can make around 75 plus, probably even more if you take your trade and become an entrepreneur and start your own business, you can make a lot more. But yeah, keep the video short right there, and hopefully this Biden plan can tackle this debt, and I personally hope it comes through. And again, I know there's a lot of people like you and me out there that know just $10,000 worth of, just $10,000 off your credit report alone will help out a lot. You know, you can stretch your credit and maybe buy a house or finance a car. You know, it will just be a breather for a lot of us millennials, and you know, that's need a breather from student loans, and so we don't have to pay so amount of money each month to back to the government. But like again, they show us counters to that. Taxpayers will have to pay the you know, taxes will go up. I mean, that's working citizens like you and me, so it's like a catch-22. You know, it's either you do or you don't. But I think it doesn't hurt the government if they just, you know, knock off 10,000 and, you know, set up this payment plan. I'm down with that. I think that's a good even ground. You know, maybe they have to change it for people that owe a little bit more, or people who owe a little bit less. But any, you know, snatch amount of money knocked off our student loans would be excellent. And, you know, you can't really get mad about that. But I'm keeping it right there. And thanks for watching this video. Of course, I'm sharing this on Facebook, Instagram, and of course YouTube. Please like and subscribe to my channel. And it's your boy